Greetings, everybody. It's Scion, and welcome back to Dauntless. All right, so I want to do a little bit on how to start Dauntless strong, and hopefully you guys get something out of this. Hope you're having fun, and it didn't take you 5 hours like it did yesterday with me to get on freaking line. It had 120 KQ. It took 4 hours and 40 minutes to log into this game. I've never done that in my life, but I just left it, and I actually played Final Fantasy 14, raided 3 times, did 5 dungeons, and we here. Alright, that aside, now that we're in the game, and I've been playing for a whole day, look at me, I look sexy. I'm looking all sexy. The very first thing that you're going to notice in this game is that it's going to be you versus a monster. This is typically it's a dungeon runner. It looks like you go out into an open world, but it's a dungeon runner. That's what this game is, a dungeon runner. You go in, it's you versus a monster. There's no other things there besides like wildlife that you got to kill or something to get some parts and stuff like that. But you versus a monster. And it's key that you understand what each monster does. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm not going to actually do any missions, but let's go to Pursuit. Now you see it shows you each monster, and you can specifically go after whatever monster you want. This is just the zone that I'm up to right now. You see I got to fight the lightning lizard, but I haven't yet because I want to get better gear to actually take that on. I'm going to explain why in a second. So to take it, Cool Shot. Cool Shot has certain weaknesses, and usually I use fire on it because it does fine with it. I'm not sure if that's the best possible way to actually kill Cool Shot, but I found fire actually works well on him. You pick each monster. It's like Ember Main. Ember Main is fire, so ice from Skeeve's weapon would work well on Ember Main. Shrike typically is a neutral monster, so I just go after whatever I feel, and usually when it's a neutral monster, I use fire on it automatically. That's just me. You can use whatever you want. If you want to ice it, you can try to ice it. It does have a low chance to actually freeze, and same thing with electricity. But each monster, you want to know what you can actually use on it. If it's a weapon, not weapon, if it's a monster like Scion, which is a heavy armor monster, you probably want to go ahead with a heavy hitting weapon. My chain blades do like nothing on him. Like they do okay damage. Okay. And I'm saying okay, like minimum. But you want to go with a bigger weapon to hit him and go after a weapon that hits good on certain types of parts. So let's head over to the armor smith or the weaponsmith, and I'll show you what I mean about hitting on certain types of parts. And alrighty. So when we go down here, we go to Scion. Scion's first is a weighted weapon, which is pretty good. This is a good weapon if you don't want to specifically go for a heavy weapon. This is okay for something like with Scion, even though it's his own weapon hitting him. Stagger damage on hit because he can be staggered. He's annoying, but he can be. And it puts a good bit of damage on because it's a heavier sword weapon, puts a good bit of damage on him, so it's a good thing. It's better definitely than chain blades. Chain blades ain't gonna work on him at all. Part damage again. Say if it's a fight where you're just not really gonna get a lot of hits on him, like I think it's Ember Main. Ember Main is one of the most annoying bosses in this game because Ember Main will not let you get a lot of hits on him. So you need to know when you're gonna get that hit, and get out, or he's just gonna get away from you anyway. So Quill Ripper is actually a good weapon to actually use on him because when you do get a hit, make sure that you get a hit like on his head or his tail or something like that. Extra part on damage because you're not going to get 3 or 4 hits on Ember Main. Ember Main is going to get away from you like almost immediately. He is such a pain in the ass to fight. Alright, let's go up. Skeeve is a good actual weapon. The monster is his weapon is a good thing when you want to actually be able to hit the monster multiple times. Strikes are good for that because they give you a bunch of time to actually hit them. They have a lot of retarded stuff that happens with them. Let's see, who else? I believe the lightning monster, even though he is very dangerous to be near the lightning monster, so I would suggest using like the chain blades. It's the safest bet for you. Or even the pike, which is this weapon right here. I don't have the pike unlocked. You can actually use a little bit of range with the pike as well. You just want to get that 7th hit, and not a lot of monsters automatically just let you do that. Some of them like get tired, or they'll run around, they'll get hit, or they'll get knocked over by another player using a hammer. So it's good to get the ski save out. But as you can see, different weapons have different ways that they go about doing things and have different damage. So it's up to you to decide where you want to actually, go. If you want to go fire damage, it's fine. But when you get to the fire monsters, they're going to do less damage against those fire monsters. However, when they get weaker, you see it kind of has like a terminate type of mechanic. When under 30%, you deal 108 damage on an enemy. That's pretty sick. I've done some good damage on them. Like, some monsters are annoying. Like, they're just annoying. So when you get them down to 30%, you just want them out of there, especially when the danger rate goes up and you don't have good teammates. Like, thankfully, I play with some friends and they don't suck. So we don't really go to the danger rate too much unless it's something that we're fighting that we're not supposed to be fighting, or it's too strong for us to be handling. I mean, again, that's towards the end. I'm going to explain that in a second as we come over here. Whoops, someone was upgraded something by mistake. Anyway. When you get the armors, if you look at them, pay close attention to them, because some of them give you different types of things. Now, I have the skeeve on right now, which it kind of sucks because it gives me shock resistance. Well, not sucks, but it gives me a negative. And you see frost resistance goes up and stuff like that. But it's the highest armor I could get right now, because when I found me fighting the skeeve, he hit me too damn hard. And that was my realization that, okay, now we're in the next tier. So I need to not get hit that damn hard. I hardly ever got hit by his lightning. Like, I don't think I ever, like, at the 2 or 3 times that I fought that monster, I don't think I've ever gotten hit by his lightning. So, but the problem is when he actually did hit me, he did a lot of effing damage. Man, he hurt. So I was like, all right, you know what? Since your lightning really isn't hitting me that much, probably when it does hit me, they'll probably damn near one-shot me. But because it's not, and I'm fighting other stuff along with it, I need good armor. So I'm going ahead right now, and I just went ahead and got all the skeeve armor. So it's the highest armor that I can get right now. See, like, total power and stuff like that. I just did not want to be getting hit that hard anymore. You go over here and you see you have your Charog. Each armor has different skill sets. This is about dodge. Dodge increase invulnerability windows, which is good. What invulnerability windows mean in fighting, if you guys know what iframes are, iframes is basically the moment in time in a dodge or a roll or something like that where you're invincible. So the invulnerability is the same thing as being invincible. That increases the time. So I have a bigger iframe window now with that 7%. It's not much, but it's enough. Like, if you have a 1 second iframe, let's see, like right here. So then I have 14% of that 1 second. So that's now I think 1.15, 1.14 of, it's 1.14% chance in between that window of not being freaking hit. 1.14 seconds of not being hit. So Charog, his about weapon charge rate. Again, but the power, like, you need power with all top of this. So it's cool to have that and fully upgraded, but it comes to a point where they just start getting left behind, and you just have to move on to the next thing. Then you have increased max health from. Who is this? Is this Scion? Yes, Scion. Go up. Anyway, prevents you from being staggered again. Prevents you from being staggered. Evasion with the strike. Stamina regen. This is what I had originally. That's why it's all like that. I love this armor. I'm sad that I had to get rid of it, but I was getting hit way too hard. Then you have Ember Helm. Which Ember Helm looks cool. Attack speed and everything else. Then you have part damage, which is on the quill. The part damage is pretty good with the quill. Then you put that together with the weapon, like you're just gonna be breaking parts all the time and getting extra stuff, and that's the recruit stuff. Yeah. All right. So you also notice that you have upgrades and stuff like this. What I would suggest to you is go for what you like in the beginning. However, you're gonna get to a point fighting monsters, and I'm gonna show you guys in a second. As soon as I get there, you're going to get to a point fighting monsters where they don't care. So let's go into pursuit. That starts around Scion. Once you get the mission to fight Scion, you need to start really upgrading and trying at that point. And Scion is about, I think, 7 or 8 monsters in. So that's when officially training wheels come off. Training wheels come off at Scion, and you have to start trying because you can't use chain blades anymore because everybody like chain blades right there because chain blades is ass on Scion. Scion just gonna look at you like, bro, what is this? Why are you hitting me with this? Like, don't you see all this armor right here? Like stop it. Like, you can only hit me like 10% of the time and get full damage on these chain blades. They take these chain blades off. That's when officially the game says, okay, now you gotta learn. Now you gotta understand who you're fighting. Everything else up until that point is like meh. So just keep that in mind, that's where the training wheels come off. And then once you're over here with these on this side and the yonder keys, the Shattered Isles right here, once you start fighting these, they're all stronger. Which means that you need to have your gear stronger. You need to have your gear upgraded. So start trying to grind out. Go after specific monsters. If you need those specific monsters, go in pursuit. Because now, as you see, it literally says hunt a specific behemoth in this zone. You can do patrol and get more resources and stuff like that, as you can see. An expedition. But when you need to go after a specific monster, you do it with pursuit. Do it with friends, make it even easier to get that quick queue just in case you don't have another person, and then you're good to go from that point. Alright. And the last thing I actually want to point out is don't forget to pay attention to this stuff, because I see a majority of people, when I'm fighting with people, like you see all this is red now because I've been using this. Go out there and farm stuff. Like, take a mission and go farm in the zone so you can make these items, because these items just make your game easier. Like, as you can see, this Blitz Tonic right here grants between 10 to 30% increased attack speed. Sexy, especially if you've got chain blades. Bulwark, reduced damage taken. Definitely need to do that. Grants increased damage dealt for 60 seconds. 30% if a behemoth is enraged, which they enrage, all of them enrage, and they're effing annoying. So if you have a big hit weapon, extra 15% damage, and then they're enraged on the 30%, that's big hits right there. You can start doing 1,000, 2,000 damage, so pay attention to that. Insight grants increased wound damage. That's pretty much, I believe, on I believe it's like not the stagger, but it's a different state when you actually like hurt them. Like they can actually be wounded too. So when they're actually wounded, they have like a little, like, it's like they're distressed or something like that. Not every monster has like a look of that, but I think they all do get wounded like that. Life Spring, which is rare. I haven't found a Heart Lily yet. I don't even think I'm in the zone for the Heart Lily yet. But or if I just haven't found it. You have Place a Pylon, which this is sexy too. 15 health per second for Slayers, 30 seconds. It works out really well, especially those type of monsters a little bit more stationary, like Scion, where you can just put it next to them. And Strike actually works like, because Strike doesn't go too far. He always comes back to the same point if the Slayers are in the same point. You can kind of like will Strike into being into a certain type of fight. And stamina grants 50% increased stamina regen, 50% reduced stamina cost on 120 seconds. Use your items. Farm for the items. It makes your life so much easier. Just don't go in there and try to bash on the monster and be like, I win. Like, you could get out of there in like 5-6 minutes if you do all that type of stuff. And I know I said one more thing, but this is the one more thing. Don't forget to pay attention to your lanterns. As you can see right here. Scarn grants a 200. I like this right here. This is what I have. I use this like all the time. Surrounds the Slayer. 720 damage to all nearby behemoths for 12 seconds. That's sexy. That's a lot of damage, actually. You got Strike. Move 40% faster. 6 seconds. I haven't created this one yet. Creates an aura that grants nearby slayers increased move speed. So if you want to buff people. And that's all I have right now. I haven't gotten the other ones. But I like this Scarn one because the hit point shield is sexy. Very useful.
Fair sailing.
Alright, and I think that's about it. I'll come with some more stuff, more advice later. I'm just doing it from my perspective and gaming now that stuff is live because I didn't want to make guides and then stuff change and then I gotta go make another guide and then people be in my comments like, oh, this doesn't apply to OBT because you know people do that. So thank you for watching. I see you guys out there. You probably see me in game, and I'm gonna go as far as I can go in this game. In my opinion, it's fun. It's a very simple game. It's straightforward. They don't have a whole lot of things that you need to understand. Everything is right here for you. Why do I not see any people? Am I not online anymore? Or I'm just in the zone by myself? That's weird. Anyway, I will catch you guys later. I know people are here. There's like so many people playing this right now, so I must be in a channel by myself somewhere. Peace, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hopefully I see you guys in game, and let's kill some behemoths.